All right, everybody, it's go time. It's Sunday. It's All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. I am here with three different people who I will introduce now. They are Leroon, founder of Fantasy Grounds College. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. We also have Furied Fate, and how are you this evening?
I'm great. I went to go see Captain Marvel last night. I got my nails done. I bought comic books. I'm just having a really great weekend.
You're kind of the perfect girl as far as most American males are concerned. you buy comic books, you go to the comic book movies, and also did her nails.
No, I got my
Great.
nails done. I don't actually paint them because I
Oh
don't
yeah,
have that type of
you got your
dexterity.
nails done. My bad. A
Done.
distinction
Yeah,
without it.
it's a thing.
Yeah. And then our special guest this evening is Joe 813210. Joe Numbers. How are you this evening, sir?
I am doing fantastic.
Excellent. I paused because Siri lit up and I thought she was going to say something to me. So, before we begin, I just want to remind everybody that's watching the show here on Twitch, and if you're watching later on YouTube, smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell because that's what you're supposed to do on YouTube.
But then I hear that notification bell doesn't always work. Like it's kind of like a weird
You know when
roulette
it
type of
doesn't
thing.
work? For sure, when you don't fucking hit it.
Yeah, maybe it's like a glitch in YouTube or whatever, but Joe's right. If you don't hit it at all, it's never gonna work. Um, All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show is meant to teach and help, but the opinions stated by the four of us on the show tonight are not that of Smiteworks USA LLC or Fantasy Grounds. It's just us. So, shots fired, Boffrin. So, tonight's subject is the options menu, and way back in show number 1, we did the options menu. That was our very first show in February of last year. And so, a year later, we're here doing it again. There has been some changes, and actually, this was Joe's idea, and he volunteered to come on and talk with us during the show. So, we'll go through it, and if you guys have questions, just let us know. First thing I did was I took all of the extensions I was using out because some extensions add different options to the options menu and give you some different choices. And some people didn't want to, some people might not have all those extensions, so we're basically trying to do a clean version of it. So we're just here on my desktop. I also have a different instance of Fantasy Grounds open as a player. And something's wrong with my Windows. I don't know what's going on with that. So I'm also here as a player, and then both Joe and Furied are connected. Joe is the giant vulture, and Furied is a blank character by the name of Murder Hobo Jones, which, as you can see up here in the left-hand window, as Joe pointed out to us earlier, it's just Murder Ho, which is really funny. So let's get to the options menu, and you obviously click it up here where the button is option. It looks like a little gear, and a lot of people don't know this. Some people may have discovered it by accident, but if you want to see the web page that has the information for all of this, it's not always fully updated, but it can at least tell you mostly what's going on. What we're going to go through, this little question mark right up here by where you close it, if you click that question mark, it will take you to the Fantasy Grounds wiki, which has all the information for the the options menu here, and it tells you everything what it does in case you forget. But hopefully when we go through this, we're going to cover it all. So, first one, chat, ring on whisper. So that's pretty self-explanatory. If you have it on, if somebody whispers you, it will ding you the same way it does if you have the turn thing on. And then if you have it off, it won't. So, that's
Got
a
it.
yeah, and I believe, is that also, can players do that on their own?
Yep.
Okay, so some options, there we go. So some options in the menu players can do, and some only DMs can do. So players can actually turn that on or off. Dice manual entry. Most people don't use this. What you would use this for is if you're playing on Fantasy Grounds, but you're actually in one of these groups that likes to actually roll physical dice in their living room, and you're all working on the honor system. So, for example, if you turn this on, you can roll anything in the game, saving, throw, attack, damage, whatever it is, even just a d20 in the chat, I'll roll that. And it, instead of giving me the dice, it tells me, oh, what did you roll? And then you can type it in here. I rolled an 18. Click OK. And then it'll put it there. Now, some of the different functions that are in there, let me pick up a d4 and roll it. This cancel button, obviously, will just cancel that and make it so it's not there. If you choose F, it's a full roll. So this would be for the DM, where it'll actually roll there. It won't give you a number, but the players will see the shadow die, and you'll be like, oh, shit's happening. So you can do that if you want. Again, why would you do it on manual if you're just going to, you could just throw the die as a DM anyway. But just to cover all the options. The other one is to actually, you don't want to type it in, you actually want to roll the die, so it'll roll a d4. And then the one on the bottom where it's just an OK, so if you type in the number, I'm going to roll it. I wonder if you try to type in 5 on a d4, will that work? Yes, it will. So that sucks. You can say, look, I rolled a 5 on a d4. That's funny. So that's what that's for. Remove on a miss. Okay, so good. We're going to cover this now. So let me go ahead.
This is a new thing?
No, this has been there, but people are very confused about how this works. So let's have...
This is also a one that players can change themselves.
Yes. Oh, good. I think the top 4 players can change.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, it even says client. Yeah. So remove on miss. So if it's off, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you have somebody targeted, like the example druid has proper NPC2 targeted, if he rolls an attack roll and misses, it'll still stay there because it's not going to remove on miss. Now, if you have it on, it will, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory. But what is multi? So multi is Great Vulture. If you would, yeah, thank you. Target a few. Now go ahead and right. So he hit 2 and missed 1, and it took away the one he missed. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Now the big question is, and the confusing question is, what happened? What's the difference between multi and on? And we did discover a difference, and that is that if you have it set to on, and you let me do that. Now go ahead and do that again, Joe. If you miss here, see, that's a bad example because it worked the way it should on either one. What was the Leroon? What we discovered about that? Because
I'm here.
We were just looking at this before the show, and we can even go read what that description says.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, when turned on, targets are always removed on a miss. When set to multi, targets are only removed on a miss if more than one target is... Oh, that's right. So if you have it set to multi, and you only attack one target... Go ahead, Joe. Attack... Goddamn. I don't want to have to restart the stream, but every time I switch screens, it's going to give me this bullshit. Okay, so...
I made sure I missed.
Yeah, target 1... And let me change it to multi, and then go ahead and attack.
Well, see, just that I've got to change it on mine as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, my bad. You're right. That is a player side thing. So yeah, change it to multi, and then attack. And then go ahead and attack.
And I need to miss, so I'm going to put in a modifier to miss. And it's still listing target.
Right. So, and if you had it on, it would have removed the target.
I've got it on now, doing the exact same thing.
And it took it away. Very good. Okay. Auto center on map. Some people love this. Some people find it very frustrating. I think players like it. DMs hate it, is usually the way it goes. What this is if it's on, as the combat tracker cycles through, it will center the map on whichever person is up in the combat tracker. Now for players, it's only going to center the map on them. I don't believe that does like if it's not your turn, it doesn't center on the NPC. Does
That's
it?
correct.
Okay. So there you go, and those can all be done by the DM and the player. Everybody can choose how they want to have their options going on that.
I get the frustration on that as far as the DM is concerned. One thing I do like as far as when I'm a DMing is that if I've got a ton of the same type of thing out there, monster, it'll actually center it on the one that's active, which is kind of
Yeah, and that's I like that too. What I like better and what we can't show here tonight is there's an extension called Has Initiative, and it puts a little gold crown on the top of the token that has initiative at that time, and it only shows it to the DM. So that's an alternative to that. But yeah, if I didn't have that extension, I would use the center on the map. Yeah, that's a good for the DM, especially when you have 20,000 monsters. Okay, set GM voice to active combat tracker, and again on and off are your only options. So if I bring up the combat tracker and I cycle through, right down here, you'll see proper NPC, and as you go through, it'll rename, whichever one it is. If it's a player, it just takes the thing away and makes you the GM, and then it puts it back when it goes back to a monster. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Show all whispers to GM. We don't need to go through that, but on or off are your options.
as a player, it's good to know what your GM has that set to.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
So I don't know why maybe a GM wouldn't want to know what the players are talking about.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
You guys want to whisper to each other, I am not going to know about it.
I feel the same way.
So if the only way a whisper would be seen by the GM is if it was directly to them, but
Correct.
if it was between players wouldn't, the GM wouldn't see that.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I usually leave it on only because sometimes players whisper things to each other, and I can save time by going, oh yeah, we handled that on turn 2, or what, I always just answer. But I like Joe's suggestion of just don't listen to what the players are doing.
I say the suggestion in my head is just as a player, know what that's set to. It's a good thing to get in their options and not even ask. Go in there and look. If I bitch at someone, is the GM going to see it?
Right, and you can players, even though they can only change the top 4, players can see the entire menu and what everything is set to. So yeah, you can go look before you say, "Oh, this fucking GM's an asshole." You can go look to see if he's going to hear you when you say that.
Or strategize if you wanna do one way or another, and you don't want your GM to know. There's mechanical reasons for it.
Okay, show GM rolls. Options are on or off. Now you notice when I click off, it takes away the dice tower in the bottom right. So if you have it off, go ahead, Joe.
I said only to clarify, it doesn't take it away for the players. It's only there's no need for a tower as a GM if you have it off.
Right. So the players always get the dice tower, the GM doesn't. But right, if you have it off, you're not going to throw anything in the secret thing because
they're all
yeah. But if you have it on, it'll show all GM rolls except ones you throw in your own tower. Then it'll put them in the chat for you, but the players won't see it.
Another way to know whether or not it's hidden or not is just throw a die in there, Rob, in your tower. So you can see it in the so you can see it in the combat or in the chat window. You'll see that little eye with a little cross through it.
Right. They changed that. It used to be a question mark. Now they updated it. Yeah, they updated through it for, don't see, I guess would be the best English translation to that. And it says tower, so good. And if I turn that off, and I roll it, whoops, hello, I still have the, damn it. Let me try that again. So now I roll a die in the chat, and then of course, well, it says don't see there.
It's not in the tower, but you are not showing GM rolls. Yep.
Right.
Next one. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So then if I do it over here, then it does show it. And that's always a way to tell too. If you get confused like I just did about what settings are on and off, you can see in this shows you that I rolled a dice, which the players don't see that I rolled in the tower. Fury Fate lost connection. This shows you that I rolled a die that the players do not see, and this one shows you that I rolled a die and there's no things over here, so that means everybody saw it. Fury, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't know why I lost connection.
Okay, it might just be one of those things. All right. So, show portraits on or off. People sometimes get confused because they're thinking about the party sheet, but this is the chat. And so if I have it off, when I come to, here, let me clear the chat. When I come to a player's turn, it just puts the player's name. But if I have it on, then when I come to a player's turn, it should actually show their, yeah, did I do it right? Oh, it's not doing it. What? Interesting. That isn't working. Ooh. That's an odd thing.
Does it still show if you do something? So if I roll something?
Go ahead and roll something.
There
Yeah, now roll something again. Ah, okay, so I misunderstood. I misunderstood my own explanation
it should be rolls.
Of it. Yeah, thank you, Joe. So it's, if you notice that Joe, when I had it on, there's Joe's little figure, and then I turned it off and he rolled again and his little portrait is not there. So that's the only difference. I think it's, especially as a DM, it's much better to look at a picture than it is to read a name, because you can process the information faster in your head. At least I can.
And then as a GM, if you roll stuff, it'll show your portrait if you have one uploaded. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll put that little GM. Yep. And then if you have an extension, you can act like mine. Mine makes my Rob Tui avatar show up to people, but that's an extension that you can get. Okay, so show results to client. So this is a good one. If you have it off, and I roll something, did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
I think it's our results.
Oh, actually. Yeah, my bad. So go ahead. I'm glad you're here, Joe. Jesus. Go ahead and roll something, Joe, and we'll see what we get. So he rolled a Constitution check. Now, Fury, you don't see that, do you?
Yeah. He rolled a 12? Or was there a second one?
No, that's right. Once again, I need to go read what this says. I'm not here to try to confuse people. I'm here to try to teach people. I'd say I'd give myself.
So it needs to be an attack, damage, or heal. Right?
Oh, Layroon. Where's Layroon? He didn't bust me on that. Yeah, remember we figured that out before the show started, and we both forgot.
Good job, guys.
Okay, it has to be an attack. Sorry, Joe. An attack what?
Attack, damage, or heal. So if I attack something and it's off, then what happens?
So if you attack something and it's off, did you see that?
Did you just turn it off?
It is off. So you probably see attack 17.
Correct. And I won't know if I hit or not.
Right. What is this? Fuzzy Wuzzy played applause for us. Thank you, Fuzzy. So if you roll an attack or a heal, what was the other one?
Damage.
You will not know the results of it. You'll know the number you rolled, but you won't know what happened.
Correct.
And see, I show here that the player doesn't see the result. Now, if I change it to on, then everything you roll is showed. And the other option, which I like, is friendly, which will only show the results of rolls to the party that are members of the party. So they won't know what monsters are rolling, but they will know what each other is rolling. So those are your three options there. And I think most DMs, I think Joe, you use off, don't you?
I believe I use friendly.
Oh, friendly. Okay, that might be right. And I think that's what
the
I'm
biggest
using
thing
too.
there is really just going back to, it's good to know that I missed, but sometimes you need as a DM to do whatever the hell you want to instead of what actually happens. So
Right.
you can always I'll get hell for this, but you can cheat rolls, or you can do whatever you need to have to do it to progress a story. But the big thing is just being interactive and understanding what's going on.
Right. A good example might be, say, for example, if a druid jumped into a boat that was really a giant mimic, you could not kill him if you chose to, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
And sometimes it wouldn't have mattered what I rolled; he was still gonna die.
That's right. Oh god, that was so awesome.
That was a good time.
I think there's been a couple people that tweeted today, Rob should die in every show. That was awesome, or something like
that. You take it well, I gotta say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I play D&D knowing that, even if you get up to fucking 19th level, you might lose this guy. So, all right, good. So, show roll on totals. Now, this is a weird one to me. Let me clear the chat.
Yeah, I don't get this one at all.
I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody would ever use this. Because
someone's really learning how to make math work for them, I guess.
Yeah, unless you were trying to teach your son or daughter how to add. Show roll totals on. Obviously, you roll and
cheer bits in the stream.
Oh,
Thanks for the cheer
do
bits.
An attack or something. Yeah. Can you roll an attack? Right. So 12 plus 4 is 16. Now, if I turn this off, go ahead and roll another one. It just shows 4 plus 4, but it doesn't tell you it's 8. Now, I can't think of, Joe can't think of, Fury or Leroon, can you think of any reason why anybody would want to use this?
No.
Right. So it's there. It's there if you're teaching your children math, I guess. Okay. Desktop
I would
image.
be very curious, and this will be for chat now or YouTube later. If anyone can think of any fucking good idea why that would work, why it would be beneficial to not show the total, I would love to hear.
Yeah, I would also, and because to me, there has to be a reason that's in there, and we just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it could be for a different system altogether.
That's
could be
true
right.
too.
That's
what
I thought.
You
too.
forget
Also,
that Fantasy
no, there's
Grounds
only 5e.
does have
You're
more
good.
systems.
All there is 5e. Goddammit. Yeah, that's true. The Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop is obviously used for many different role-playing sets, and that could be a thing somewhere.
We're just fucking elitist.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't need the totals. I'm able to figure it out every time. So here's whatever graphics you have installed. Like you might have some. There's the Smiteworks default. There's this thing that I made, the All Things Fantasy Grounds, with our logos on it. But you change the background. There's my logo. There's nothing. There's the Smiteworks logo. So I only have those 3 in here. But a lot of times you can put in the background decals from the modules and whatever, and so that's just where you change those pictures, is right here.
And if you don't see it there, it's because when you loaded into your campaign, you didn't select that button in the huge long list of things you can select.
Right. That's an extension you have to turn on to get the pictures. And I think if you don't have anything in, you'll at least have this. You'll at least have this background, or you can just turn it off. But of course, we like this one. Show characters to clients. So, this has to do with the party sheet. So, here in the party sheet, the players can see this information. Now, if I decide that and there are some, I don't like this. Personally, as a player, I don't like this. I use this for Battle Royale. I make it so that the players can't see each other's thing. So I would turn that off. Now the DM can still see it, but if I go to the players, thing, you see that I don't have the option to see. I can only see inventory or order tab. That's it. I can't see the list of the party. So if I turn that back on, then of course over here, whoops, I turned the wrong one on. God damn it. Here, right here. Then if I go back over here, now I do have that on the player side. And same thing with inventory. The next one down is inventory. So if I have it on, the players can see it, and if I have it off, they can't. Now I'll show you the difference. So on the inventory tab, you see basically the parcels that are given out. And then this down here is all of the equipment and all of the money that the party has. So if I turn that off, DM can still see it, obviously, but players will not see it. All they will see is just the money and the parcels, but they won't see that other information down here at the bottom. And then if I go back and turn it on, then you see that it's there. So that's how that works. Last one in that section is dice tower on or off. And again, as Joe said, if I up at the top show GM rolls or not, that turns the dice tower on and off for me. But if I turn this off here, you guys don't see it either, right?
Correct. It drops off.
Yeah. So this is, if you just don't want to use the dice tower at all, you can just turn it off. So that's a pretty easy one to remember how that works. All right, let's give away a prize when we go to the next section. I like to give away prizes. So we're going to give away a raffle. This is going to be a raffle for any item on the DM's Guild that has my name on it. Now you guys can pick, if you win, you can pick something that I made or something that I converted for somebody else. As long as it has my name on it, there's like 115 things on the DM's Guild with my name on it, then you guys will be able to win this. I'm not going to give away packages tonight. I am next week. Next week we're giving away an ultimate license and five prizes that you can pick anything you want. So since Joe's our guest,
just so you get good answers or good questions? Is that what you're doing?
No. We just decided it's an AMA.
I know. That's what I mean.
So we want, everybody's going to show up and bother us. It's going to be fun. So since Joe's our guest today, the keyword will be Joe, ! Joe in the chat. And you guys can have 2 minutes to enter that in, and then we'll make a drawing. And we'll keep an eye on that. Fury she won't let me go too long without coming back to that.
Yeah, I yell at you.
Yeah, she yells at me. And then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so auto NPC initiative. That's pretty easy.
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the cheerbits.
If you have it off, it won't roll initiative for the NPCs at all. You'll have to do that individually. If you have it on, it will roll them, and it will also roll them in groups if you have it on that. If anybody has theirs set on group, you're not my favorite person. Yeah, I don't like group. I don't like when all the monsters, 25 monsters go at once. I don't like it.
That's stupid. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got 60 kobolds, right? And you got to go through 60 of them just to get. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
you can do better than this.
I mean, I can understand it if you were playing at the kitchen table and it'd be much easier to do it. There's a lot of things that I resent people doing in Fantasy Grounds because they're used to doing that at the kitchen table, but Fantasy Grounds makes it easy to not do that, and they still don't want to do it. They want to do it their way, and I get crazy. So the next one down is NPC Numbering. Now, you guys know that if it's a pinned, when you put the monsters in the combat tracker, if there are the same types, it will number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you say random, that's when you get like Kobold 32. Yeah, and then the players, if they're new to Fantasy Grounds, they freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, there's 32 of them!" They freak. That's awesome. And then the other one, which is I highly recommend against this, is off, and that will not number the NPCs at all. So if you have 5 kobolds, they're all just going to be called kobold, and it's going to make everybody crazy. Again.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, trying for a player to say, "I attack kobold," which one? And there's no good way in Fantasy Grounds for them to point at it and identify what it is without it being a pain in the ass. So
right.
I guess
this
everyone
should
agree the correct one is...
Yeah, this would be the second question we'd all like to know. Why would anybody ever have that set on off? NPC roles. So if you choose fixed, like let me open up a combat thing here for this guy. So he's got a fist, and the damage on it is 6 or 2d4 plus 1. So if you have it rolled, if you have it on fixed, it's going to just roll 6. So no matter what the dice come up, that's funny, that adds to 6 anyway. Hold on. Oh, wait. Rolls, variable or fixed. What? Am I wrong about that? I can't be wrong. What? Okay, determines the damage dealt. If it's set to fixed, the damage dealt is the average damage dealt.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hello, motherfucker. What's up, Fantasy Grounds College? Hello, motherfucker. So I wonder if I drag that damage, that was 11 that I just rolled. If I drag it and it actually just applies 6. Let's see about that.
Which damage was it?
It's the damage I just rolled. 2, 2, 6 plus 1 equals 11. But if I drag that damage to Giant Vulture, does it give him 11? It does. So, oh wait, that's going to confuse everybody till we get there. So let's go read that, everybody. Let's just read what the explanation is. Determines the damage dealt by the NPCs on damage rolls. If it's set to fixed, the damage dealt is the average damage dealt by that creature according to its character sheet. If set to variable, then the dice is rolled to compute the damage. That's what I thought.
So let's try this, Rob. Instead of dropping it in the chat, drop it on Giant Vulture.
Okay, so let me get back to that. Okay, so let's grab this guy's damage and drop it on Giant Vulture, and it should just give him, no matter what it rolls in the chat, it should give him 6 points damage. Oh, fuck. Okay, just everybody relax. I need to turn something.
Do you have some sort of
I do.
thing
we
on
were
that
doing
person?
This, yeah, we do. No, it's a thing in the thing. Yeah, just I don't want people to give me
thing on the thing.
It's a thing in the thing. It's an option in the options is what I meant to say, which doesn't really, it's not really much different than it's a thing in the thing. Where is it? Let me turn it off because I don't want people to be confused by this because this is something that we get to later. Okay. All right, so 11. It gave him. Oh, my bad. The damage is 5 plus 6, so yes, it
Correct.
should be 11. Okay, so
Right.
It was right the whole time. I just didn't see.
Yes.
It. Okay, so let me roll this a few times in the chat though. I think it'll always come up 11. No matter what.
Do you see how the 11 comes up first before the actual roll?
Yeah, it's always 11 no matter what you roll. So I rolled 10, 11, 6. It was always 11, 11, 11. Right. So it did work the way I thought it did. I just can't read. I get too excited and I move too fast. So if you want to play your games to where that's the damage that's done all the time, you can do that. And of course, most people use variable, which is the actual dice roll, because that's more fun. Ring bell.
Got him!
Who was that? Fantasy Grounds College. Playing these sounds. Ring bell on turn. That's easy. That's either on or off. And what that does is when it comes to that player's turn and they're surfing the internet, checking porn, and not really paying attention to the game, they're going to get a ding and let them know it's their turn.
You know who does that? Millennials.
Millennials. They're multitaskers.
Yeah, those kids.
How
Says
many
a girl who's on like Twitter and all these other shit.
How many millennials does it take to change a light bulb? That's not funny! That's my favorite joke.
Much
that's
better.
my favorite joke. How many?
That offends me. Yeah.
What's the difference between a gun and a millennial? A gun only has one trigger.
Nah.
All right. These are some of my favorite jokes now. I'm getting applause. Thank you. All right. Show turn order. Now I love this. So in the combat tracker, players are able to see the order of the monsters and the order of the turn, so they'll know. Okay, when's my turn? They'll know. And here, as a matter of fact, I'll show you the
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the
and they'll know none of it when they go. Who goes before them?
Right. So this is how it would normally look when you have that set to normal. You know that this is the order of people that go. Now, what I love, and it's not that you can't game this across a few rounds and figure it out, but I also use this in combination with changing the initiative every round. So if you have it set to off, then you go back over to the player version and you don't see everybody's like alphabetically listed. So and so when turns pass, it might bounce up here and bounce down there, and you don't know when the hell anybody's going. And then if you have it set to friendly, which is I need to get a system here so I know.
Turn order.
Yeah, Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the cheerbits.
Heob, thank you for the cheerbits. If you have it set to friendly, then you will know the order of your friends, and you will not know the order of the monsters. So there's just a slight difference between friendly and off. But I think I like friendly.
That's the one I like best.
As a DM, yeah.
A couple of different reasons. One, anytime, whether you're playing in table or not, typically you're going to know turn order amongst individuals at the table. And next one is who needs healing, and everyone's all grouped together always.
Yeah, exactly. So my favorite thing to do is use a combination of friendly with that one, and then one we haven't got to yet, which is initiative order changed every round, and that's the funnest way that I like to play. Now again, we haven't. That's pretty self-explanatory. We probably don't need to go over it when we get there, but just since we mentioned it, and I'll give away the prize when I'm done with this explanation. The thing about changing initiative every round is that that's a huge pain in the ass if you're playing at home on a kitchen table with dice. But in Fantasy Grounds, there's no reason.
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the cheerbits.
Hey, Lady Shell, thanks for the cheerbits. Wow, thank you, Lady Shell. Holy good Christ, nice. Does that say 10,000?
Good God. Well done.
In my eyes, is that 10,000? Did she do 10,000?
She sure did.
Wow, Lady Shell's the hero of the day. Holy Christ. Thank you so much, Lady. Yeah, so if you're using Fantasy Grounds, I see no reason to, I mean, there might be other reasons that you don't want to do it, but it's really easy to re-roll the initiative every round. You have the players roll their initiative.
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the cheerbits.
And then each round it shifts it, and to me it's more exciting, and it doesn't stop the game. And it's just all automatic by the computer. You don't have to do anything. So I really love that. Okay, winner is Min Clark. All right.
All right.
Min Clark, thank you so much. You know what to do. PM me in Discord, and I'll get you your prize. And I'm going to give away some more. Man, my throat.
Get that man a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
You know what? I should just tell these medical people to fuck off. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life with Diet Coke.
You made it 30-some years already, man.
Right. I've been drinking Diet Coke since like 1984. What's that, 35 years? Jesus Christ. And I've always, people go, oh, you on a diet? I'm like, no, I drink Diet Coke because although Coke is fucking awesome, it's fantastic, I would only want to drink maybe one Coke a day. Diet Coke, I can drink 6 or 8 of them in a day. It's just so smooth, you know? So good job, Min Clark. Okay, back to this. By the way, for those of you that are here now, you don't want to miss next week, because next week we're having the AMA, and you can come and ask Furied and Leroon and I any questions. Anything, and they don't have to be Fantasy Grounds related. You can ask us anything. We reserve the right not to answer you, but you can ask us anything. And we're also giving away, courtesy of Fantasy Grounds College, a ultimate license, so $150. And yep. I'm giving away 5 anything you want on the DM's Guild, even including a package, which my highest one's 90, so that's potentially $450 worth of stuff right there. So it's going to be a $600 potential day for prizes. Okay. What was the last one we did, Joe? Oh yeah.
Turn order.
Show effects. So on or off, pretty easy. And what that means is anything that's applied to a person on the combat tracker will show. So let me go to example druid who has an effect, and I have it off, so it just says example druid there. But if I turn it on, when I go to his turn, it'll actually say all the effects he has on. So unconscious and stable. Oh well, that's unfortunate. He's dead.
Yeah, but he's stable, so you're
he's stable. He's all right.
So that's like a nap. Yeah. The only kind of the caveat on that one, and it deals with if you're using sounds and have triggered chat sounds, I highly recommend turning that one off.
Yeah. Yeah,
I agree. It'll pick up every little thing that they do. If they're blessed, whatever it might be, it'll go every single.
Dang. Yeah. And the one thing that kept happening to me in 5e pickup games is I have in the sounds module, there's a trigger for the word rain, which is really cool. You can just type rain in the chat and it'll start raining. Or if any of your descriptions say, the players
contain the letters that R-A-I-N.
Yeah, he had an effect that said difficult terrain in every fucking turn. Yeah, restrained. Yeah, it was driving me nuts until I figured it out. But as a DM, I like to have the effects show up here. But I would rather not listen to those sounds, turn these effects off, and then you can also, whatever effects are here, you can obviously monitor in the combat tracker, which you're always, as a DM, you're always looking at that anyway.
Correct.
So good. Skip hidden actor. I don't like this. Some people do. I'll show you what that is. Anybody that's
I'm hit and miss on this one.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. And the good thing is, depending on the situation, you just come over here really quick, get in here and turn it on or off, whichever you like. So watch me cycle through the turns here. It's only going to... wait, do I have it on or off?
You don't have anyone in there.
No, I do. There's 5. No, there's 5. Oh. They're hidden. That's why I hit them all.
Oh, son of a...
Right. So... let me reset this. Okay, so the players can't see the monsters yet. I've populated the combat tracker with 5 of these monsters, and they're all hidden. So if I cycle through the turns, it'll just skip the hidden ones, right?
Which is nice, because then the players don't actually know there's a hidden monster somewhere. Right. Unlike Joe's game, where I could tell, the combat tracker's not on anybody, there's a hidden monster we haven't seen.
Right. The players, if they're smart or experienced, they will know.
Yep.
The other thing you can do is just, if the pacing is slow enough, they might not catch it, or if they're not paying strict attention, they might not catch it. But if it's off, it will actually go to the combat tracker for each one that isn't shown yet. So it'll go to everybody. So that's the difference there. Stop at round start is also another one that some people may like or not.
I like that one.
Yeah, I do it, especially if I'm reshifting initiative. I like it to stop. So watch when I go to the top here. When I go to round 21, shit. You notice that none of the players are highlighted, so it kind of just pauses it. And that way everybody can kind of gather themselves. The DM can go, okay, it's a new round. Excellent. Now, if you have that off, then as you're cycling through the round and you get to the bottom and go to, I'm at round 1, I'm going to go to round 2, it just goes right there. It doesn't stop. It does put it in the chat, round 2, but it doesn't stop. So now let me. Is there a way to unhide all monsters? Yeah, isn't there? Yeah, it's here.
The eye on the top left. Yeah.
All right, so.
So speaking what Fury had said, it's good in situations in which they're going to be entering combat. It's also, skip hidden actor is good in situations where there are monsters which may or may not be part of that combat. So parties getting their asses kicked and you don't want to reveal a bunch of other monsters. They'll have the idea that there's some stuff that you're not throwing at them.
Right. Okay. Let me go back to this here. Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to see. I don't know if you guys can see on stream, but my Windows, the bottom thing down here, when I'm on this version, maybe this will fix it. No, I don't want to do that. Oh yeah, that fixed it. Okay, so my thing kept disappearing down there. All right, so the next one, thank you. I did say, not only did I say it, I said down there and on the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good joke. Didn't even realize it. Bar colors. Okay, so bar colors, standard or tiered. That is, let me zoom in on one of these. Let me change the players to, so I don't want people, I'm gonna kind of have to jump ahead here to in order to show you this. Who's rolling a die? God damn it. Murder hobo. Okay, so here are the bars. Okay, so yeah, Murder hobo, damage yourself so you have 1 hit point left.
Okay.
Okay, so we see that hers is red, and Joe's is yellow, and this NPC is green. And so if you have the bar colors set on standard or tiered. Oh no, wait a minute. This might be for the party sheet. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's verify this. Provides different color modes. Color with a U.
Damn Europeans.
In standard mode, the health bars run from green through yellow 50% to red. In tiered mode, they change in 25% integrals from green to light green to yellow to orange to red. So that's what we like. I actually use an extension that has even more options. So fully healthy's blue, critical's black. Yeah, I do even more than that. But again, with this Windows crap. So that just gives you an example of how you can. So let's see, Giant Vulture. Set yourself at what are you now? What are you? I guess I can just look.
I'm 12.
So you're.
What do you want?
How many?
Critical?
You're 12. Yeah. So set yourself at. Wound yourself to 11. Okay, 10. Yeah. So 11 is half, which was red, and 10, which is 1 less than half, gave you the light green. Now put yourself at full strength. Yeah, and that's a dark green. So you can see that they do change slightly. But there's an extension that has more pronounced colors, which I really like, called, I think it's even called Wound Colors or something like that. But anyway, that's the difference in those if you want to, if you just want the basic 3 colors or if you want 5 colors. Okay. Health ally. So this refers to the combat tracker. So it's not necessarily for DMs, but for the player side. If you're showing ally health as detailed, off, or status. So status, let's look and see what that looks like. So status is wounded, healthy, dying, right? The other one would be...
I think it also says heavy too. Yeah.
Detailed. Now if we go back and look, now we can see their actual number of hit points and temporary hit points, everything like that. And then off, which is what I use for Battle Royale, the players cannot see anything about the other players at all. So all they can see is their initiative. They don't see any other information here. So that's kind of cool options, depending on how you want to run your game and how much information, you know, like if it's a scenario like that. A great example is Battle Royale, where I don't want the players to know anything else about the other people they're playing with. That's a great tool for me to use to just turn that off. Okay. Oh wait, did I have a prize in the queue? What you Fury? You didn't yell at me.
I'm not even watching the queue. I'm sorry.
Okay, no,
you gave that one out.
Yeah, now we're gonna give away another one. Let's do it.
There we go.
Keyword Raffle Joe. Let's do it. Okay, so 2-minute counter. If you want to win, everyone but Min Clark can enter because he already won. And we'll let that count down and we'll give away another prize. Meanwhile,
we're left on wound categories.
Yes, wound non-ally is the same. It's the same principle, only it's for the NPCs. So you can show the players all the information. You can show them none of the information. Depends on how you want to do it. And wound categories are simple or detailed. So simple. Let's look at the simple ones. If I go over here to player, and I'll bring up example druid, and we'll watch as I go through. So I'm totally healed. Oh wait, I don't have the information being shown to the players. God damn it! I suppose that would help.
It does.
Health ally, detailed, non-ally detailed. Okay, so simple categories. So oh, sorry, my bad. I got to put it on. I got to put it so it shows categories. Status, I think.
Next one down.
Yeah, this is the one I want. Okay, so the categories are healthy, wounded, and wounded goes up to half, I think. And then it goes to heavy, and then dying. So those are the 4 you get with simple, which are, again, wounded, healthy, wounded, heavy, and dying. Now, those are fine, but I like to give everybody a little bit more information and change it to detailed. And so now your categories get crazy. There's healthy. You're watching the example druid here. There's healthy. There's light. There's moderate. There's heavy. There's critical. And then there's dying. Yep. So again, as I said before, there is that extension that has it will assign colors to all of those. So it'll give you black and blue and all these other different colors. So it's kind of cool. Ooh, let's check the prize. Let's check it. Yes, it's time. Here we go. Here's the winner, everybody. The winner of prize number 2 for tonight's show is Ulf Ghosta. I hope I'm saying that right. Ulf Ghosta. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Part of our thing that we like to do here is if we see a red thumbs down here in the prize thing, that means 2 things. One, you win. You still win. But it also means you're not following the channel. So, boo! Hit the follow button. Boo! Hit the follow button. But I am saying it right. Okay. So good. You win. And what you'll have to do, Ulf, is come to my Discord channel, and I'll put a link in the chat right now. And just follow that link and come over to my Discord. And if your Discord name is different, especially, just say, hey, Rob, it's Ulf Ghosta from chat or from Twitch, and I won a prize tonight. And then once you come over there and PM me in Discord, I will give you the instructions after the show. There it is. Ulf Ghosta has followed. Welcome to the stream. Now, if we refresh that, it's a green thumbs up. Look at that shit. Yeah. All right. We'll give away one more prize at the end of the show, everybody. I appreciate everybody hanging in tonight and watching. This is good stuff. It'll get a lot of views on YouTube, too. As a matter of fact, how many did we increase our... Oh, I told you. We increased our audience. Okay. So good.
And that's the same, the next one, like non-ally and wound categories. It should all be the same, right?
Yeah, it's all... Yeah, we don't even have to go over them because it's all the same.
Yep.
Status, off, detailed, status,
so whether it's NPC
off,
or PC.
Yeah. Right. So, okay, good. Now, auto scale to grid. This is how you want your tokens to look on the map. So there's 100% and there's off and there's 80%. So let's turn it off. Now, if I just drag, let's do the drag. He's already there, but I'm going to re-drag him on. And apparently there's no change. Let me change it to 80%.
Yeah, I think it is at 80% already. So
100%. Yeah, so you see how it made it a little bigger and there's no green line around him. So that some people might like that, especially if they're using like health bars and stuff. But I think the default is 80%, and I like that better because it kind of puts a little border around them. But
I see a little bit of difference whether they're like some default tokens are round versus like more token style or pog style, round versus square.
Exactly.
And 100% works well for round tokens, but it's difficult for square ones.
Yeah. So that's 100%. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll put them all next to each other here. Okay, so this one is, that's off, so it makes the token, whatever the token size is, it doesn't scale it at all. So usually that's I don't know why you'd want to do it. You still see that it's large. You still see that it's large because of the red square, but it's just the token is the size of whatever the token is.
And that all has to do with how your image is coded in the background. So,
right.
You really, yeah.
So this one's going to be 80%, and the next one is going to be 100%. So we'll see what the difference is here. Right. So this is off 80% and 100%, and I think you only see the major differences when you got a larger or bigger token. You don't really notice it that much with these type tokens. So there's your differences, and I think most people use 80%.
I think that's the default.
Yeah, default's 80%. I suppose if you were the maker of the tokens and you did the artwork, you might want to use 100, so it's as big as possible. But I think you're right. The default's 80%. Now, if I change it back to the default, okay. Facing indicator. I don't use facing. Some people like to play with facing. All this does is put a yellow indicator on each token, and then if you spin your mouse wheel, you can use these. And some people like to do it. Like, for example, if I was here and the DM would say, okay, well, this monster snuck up on you, and you're looking the other way, so he's going to get advantage on his attack. Or whatever fakakta rules you want to include in your game that's all jacked up and crazy. You can do that if you have facing. And so...
The only thing about facing is that as a player, once the DM locks the tokens, you can't change facing yourself. That pisses me off. I mean, well, okay, I take it back. It doesn't piss me off, but it's just very inconvenient.
Right.
Because then I have to, like, say, hey, can you unlock my token, or can you move my facing because I want to face such and such direction.
Yeah, you have to tell your DM, I want to face northwest. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So I've never used facing. I've actually played in a game with facing, and I will not play in that person's game anymore.
We won't.
It's a giant pain in the ass. But even if you use facing like it with minis on a kitchen table, like what? Why? I don't know. But many people, they want to dive as deep as you can into the mechanics of the game and stuff. So that's there if you want to use it. It's there. Let's turn it off so everyone can be happy. Show effects. Okay, now this, depending on your DM style, this is pretty important stuff. So let me put an effect. Let's put a couple of effects on Hobo Joe there.
What?
What? Let's say that he is blinded and poisoned. Okay, so Murder Hobo Joe, his name is James Jones, I mean. Murder Hobo Joe Jones, that's his name. So if you have it set on icons, it'll put little icons down here, And if you hover over them, they will tell you, oh, that's blinded and that's poison. So that's cool. You can do it where it says icons that hover. So only if you hover over the token does it show. And then if you take your mouse away, it does that. You can put a mark, which is just all effects. It'll just mark one thing there. And if you hold over, it'll tell you what's there. You can do mark hover, same thing. You hover over it, there it is. Take it away, it's gone. And you can say off. Now the other one, the one I like is tooltip. If you hover over it, it gives you like a bigger, sort of a more full description of what's going on. And then icons, back to icons. So those are your choices for that. Now, it's also the same. We'll skip down one here for ally effects. It's the same thing. So, oh my bad. No, I'm wrong. So forget the last 5 seconds, everybody. Don't clip that. Okay, let's just stick with what we had here. So everybody understands that, right? Whatever the different options are for the tokens. Okay. So show health is the same thing. You can have a bar. Fury, give yourself full health here. Change your hit points to like 0 damage or whatever. There you go. No, that's you killed yourself. There you go. So you can have a bar like that. You see a lot of people use that. You can use a bar only if you hover over the token. So it's not there, but if you hover over it, it is. A dot. And a dot only if you hover over it. And off, which is no health at all. So it just depends. And then tooltip is another one. So if you do this, all it's going to show you is the condition. So you see how it says healthy there. So it just depends on your style and how you want your information as to what you pick there.
And I did not know this until I think CJ mentioned it on our Friday game, that is the size of that dot is entirely dependent on the scaling of your map.
Yes.
On a huge map, they are non-visible whatsoever.
They are fun, and that might be a reason why you would then switch to tooltip or whatever. But also all of those pieces of information. Like I think in our game maybe it's Battle Royale, I have the names of the characters set as a permanent thing, and you've got to scroll in about this far to be able to read those names on some of those maps. I mean, it's pretty insane. But yeah, if you're ever frustrated by the scaling of that, it has everything to do with how big the map is, and there's really no way there's nothing you can do to change that. So if you see those small things, you didn't do anything wrong or anything like that. It's just the way it is with a big map.
You know some people, Rob. I would love to see that done as part of the scaling of the token instead of the map.
I believe there might be a person in chat or two who can fuck with that. We'll see what they say. Never face north is what's being said there. Yeah, lady, you're right. When you use the facing, it makes you look like you're wearing a dunce cap. That's all right, so ally effects, allied health, enemy effects, and enemy health. So it works the same way, but I think there's some different options. So a mark, let's see, who has an effect on them whoops, that's not the thing.
I had effects on me.
No, I need an NPC to have an effect. So let me put prone on an NPC here.
I love you, man.
I love you too, new subscriber. Hey, Drake Takes. Thanks, man. Thanks for the sub. Drake Takes. Okay. On NPC 5, I'm going to put prone. Now, first of all, I'm just going to drag all these back over. Get them all the way I want them now. NPC 1, 2. Okay, I'm assuming this is 5 here. Okay, so show enemy effects, mark. Oh, right, the mark. The mark is down there. For some reason, I can't. So that's not a good one to use because I can't.
I love you, man.
The mark is the little effect guy.
Right, it's that little zombie guy. But when I hover over it, I can't get my mouse to go. It's gone. It's gone. I can't get it. So let me switch it to mark hover, which isn't going to really help us. Off tooltip. There we go. Oops. But it's not showing prone. Isn't he the one that's prone?
Is.
Interesting. Why don't I see that the thing is there. I see the little blue down arrow, but tooltip should show it to me in a box. That's interesting. And icons isn't working either. What the hell? Well, we all know how it's supposed to work, everybody, but it's really not working out that way. I'm not sure why.
Well, the icon shows up on the bottom left.
Yeah, but tooltip should show it to me in the box. It should say proper NPC5 prone. And that is not what's happening. So let me just try that again. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that might be a... That might be something that is wrong, everybody. Not sure why that's not working. We might have to report that.
I love you, man.
Hey, Matakiri.
Because you're using a new, the latest one, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could just be a mistake in the 3.3.8. They haven't. And if I report it, they'll fix it. But they might not have even. Nobody's. I mean, how often does anybody go, "Hey, it doesn't work"? So I'll report that after the show. But it will work the same way, theoretically. And then enemy health is the same as allied health. Whether you want a dot or a dot hover off, tooltip bar, whatever it is. Actually, you know what? None of those are working. That didn't change anything. What the hell is happening? That is pretty odd. Let me just really quick. I'm going to go get some other different adult blue Dracolich. Let's get him in there. See if this helps us at all. All right, let's make him visible. And if I change his health bars, enemy health. Nope. Yeah, that's just simply not working.
It's changing for me.
Okay, so something. Oh, it is changing for you. Interesting. It's absolutely not working on my DM side, so don't know why that is, but could be a glitch. Probably not that big of a deal, but I will report that after the show to see what's up with that. Okay. But the ones for the allies and the ones for the enemies all should work the same. Show name. So title. You see all the tokens have their names above them. Title hover is only if you hover above them will you see their names. Off, of course, is off. Tooltip is if you hover over them, instead of showing you the title in a white, it'll show you the toolbox kind of name like that. And so those are your different options there.
The only comment I'll make on the name part is, and this happens, there's always that at least one person in the party. If there's a boss, if there's a, this is the thing that is going to hurt you more, maybe look at using the ID system that the combat tracker has to not help identify it as
right. Yeah, like
boss.
So what he's talking about is if you don't want the people to know, you can de-identify these monsters there, and it just says unidentified creature, gross slimy thing. And I always wondered where those names come from.
I know.
And is it here? They have each. This didn't used to be a thing, but now each NPC will have a thing here. And if
much like the photos, or how you had to identify a different name for unidentified and identified. So
right. Yeah, so like on our Friday night game, we got transported to some different level, which Joe has a map for that says level whatever it is, but we see unidentified level because he made it so that we couldn't see what level we were on. And then I fucking died, and that's how you do it. I died. I got eaten by a shark.
I have done that quite often. It's probably one of my most impressive, one of the most things that I use almost every encounter is not identifying things that you wouldn't have a clue what it is.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I ever played in a real game in Fantasy Grounds, it was with Zacchaeus. He did his late breakfast lunch thing or whatever during an FGCon. Yeah, and back then he had to just rename monsters manually. So he would he brought over his proper NPC 1 here, and then he would back it over, and he would go, nasty big thing. He would type it in there, and then it was really cool. And so I'm glad they have that. And I don't think they have a sweeping, like de-identify all monsters. But the cool thing is
it only works for the same monster type, but once you identify them in your combat checker, all of the same ones are identified.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say next. But what I was trying to say is I wish they had a button that did all of the monsters, and they don't have that. But they do have. You saw when I did this one, it actually turned all the same monster types different. So if I just do the Dracolich, it only does that. But if I do the gross slimy thing, it does all the proper NPCs. So yeah. And so it even changes their name there. Yeah, so that's good. All right, here's one of my favorites. Everybody loves Rob 2E fumble and crit tables. So if you have this set to off. Damn it. There. God damn it. So if you have it set to off, it won't roll any critical fumble or critical hit things. Roll 1 or 20, nothing happens. Just tells you that you missed or hit. So now, before we talk about how to set these, you do have to have a critical or fumble table installed. Now, Fantasy Grounds comes with one. I think it's there automatically. I think it's a module that just sort of populates in Fantasy Grounds and it turns on so you can start using these right away. And then, of course, I have one on the DM's Guild, which has 200 different entries for fumbles and 200 different entries for crits. And everybody seems to like it. And it seems to be super fun. So you can set them to be critical hits and fumbles, fumble and crit, or just fumbles, or just crits. So you can set that any way you want. It's usually pretty fun to do that. It just adds an element to the game. Auto death rolls on or off. So this would be where if it's off, the players can roll their own death saving throws. If it's on, when the turn gets passed to that player, Fantasy Grounds will just roll their death save right away. And I like to have it on. Some people want to take control and roll their own death saves, which I can totally understand. The reason as a DM that I want it on is it just moves the game along faster. I don't want to wait 15 or 20 seconds for a player to go, oh yeah, I need to roll a death save. Okay, hold on. Let me get my character sheet here. Let me go down to death save. Let me grab this, and I'll roll it. There, thank you. Whereas if it's set to on and it comes to that person's turn, it's just going to roll it automatically. And then, oh, look, you got a 19. You almost came conscious, but you didn't. Next. That's how I like to do it. It kind of does take players who are unconscious out of the game, but you do get to sit there and hope that one of your party members heals you or shoves a potion up your ass or whatever the case might be. Or that you roll a 20 and pop up. Because one of my favorite things to say in the game is, you rolled a 20 on your death save. You are prone. You may now take your full turn. I like to say that. NPC hit points. Again, standard or max or random. So standard would be where if you had it on standard, it would use the 225 number. If you had it on random, it would roll whatever the dice is. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. Max is 225. Standard is, huh?
225 shouldn't be, that should be your average, the number there.
Oh, so let's find out, if I have it set on max, let's find out how many hit points. This will be a good exercise. Okay, let's take the Dracolich out. Did I take him out already? Where is he? Oh, he's right here.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, okay. So oh, Christ. I still have to go find him. Okay, so let's set this on max, and let's see how many hit points he gets. Okay, Dracolich max. It gave him 324. So basically max, I think what that does is...
Maxes out your D12s there.
It's 108 plus 12 times 18. That's max. Standard is the whatever the number here is, which is probably an average, and then variable or whatever, it'll actually roll for it, and that's what I always do. That's what most people do. I think if you're playing at home in the kitchen table, you use this number, but if you're using Fantasy Grounds, you might as well have it roll because it could be good. And then if you're trying to kill your players, everything's just max. So those are your three: random, standard, and max. Those are your three.
You see max more in really power group settings.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that ones that actually need a challenge, it can offer that, or it could just really offer everyone swinging a lot. That really
But that's a different way that you can before you put your players or before you put your NPCs into the combat tracker, you can switch these settings to know how you want your hit points for those monsters to be assigned. Roll initiative each round, pretty simple, on or off. If you have it off, it doesn't do it. If you have it on, it does do it. What I like to do is have it on, tell the players to roll initiative at the beginning of the encounter, and then each round, starting with round 2, it just re-rolls everybody's initiative using their modifiers and everything. It just does it all automatically. And then it kind of switches the order. It does it for the NPCs as well.
I had a question on that one, Rob. With I know how it used to work. I haven't used that one in a while. Does it still then change effects that go until your next turn? Does that stuff all switch with it or not?
It doesn't do that, but there is an effect. There is an extension, and the name of that extension is, I will find it. That for the most part, I'll say 90%, it does do that. It adjusts the extension number, but the problem is it doesn't. There's limitations with that. So you do have to keep an eye on it. So say for example you put dodge on, it's gonna be until the beginning of your next turn, and so it's gonna apply. I'm initiative 10. It's gonna come off on initiative 10. But if you re-roll and your initiative is now 7, it's gonna screw that up. So you do kind of have to keep an eye on that. But there is an extension that helps with almost everything. And it's called Change Initiative Update Effects. That's the name of the extension. Change Init Update Effects. And that will help to facilitate most of those things so that they're right. But very often, if you're rolling with the initiative change every round, you got to keep an eye on it. And players are usually pretty good about, hey, what happened to my, I was dodging, damn it, or whatever.
Unfortunately, it's usually too late at that point when someone notices.
Yeah, but as long as you keep an eye on it, I mean, I play with it, and I'm willing to take the chance that something might go wrong, as opposed to not being able to use it at all. And to me, that's just a little less, little less boring to me. Or more.
Yeah, I think I would use the roll initiative each round more if I could ensure that I didn't have more work on the combat tracker because.
Yeah. So and I've been in talks with the extension maker about. Unfortunately, I think Celestian's the guy that made that. He makes everything. But he's not a 5e guy. He's like a Savage Worlds guy and stuff. So he doesn't. I've tried to talk with him, but it's real hard. I mean, we're not in the same room talking face to face, and it's just all texts and messages and stuff. And I don't even know if he's here now. Is Celestian here? I don't think Celestian's here at this time. But anyway, yeah. So if that would work perfectly, I'm sure everybody would do it. But there are some risks with effects not updating correctly from turn to turn. So you just kind of have to keep watch on that. Damage, massive system shock. Okay, I just found out about this today. This is relatively new to the options menu. It is an alternate rule in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and what this does is pretty cool. I see Murder Hobo has given herself 100 temporary.
No one said no. So.
Nobody said no. Okay. So watch what happens here. She has 13 hit points. So if she takes 7 damage or more, a fantastical thing is going to happen. So
remember, I'm blinded and poisoned.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, let's just everybody calm down. All right, we're all of a sudden gonna give you 13. So
does that mean like you're halfway dead already? Is that where you're going?
Because she's blinded and poisoned, she's half dead.
You're blasting them deaf. Just get rid of her, kind of thing. All right.
Okay, so let's make sure this is on. Okay, so this is on.
Put me out to pasture.
Now let's try and hit her with. Oh, we can hit her with 11. Excellent. I will go and turn that on. I will turn that thing on. Remember how we get 11 if we have that on? What setting was that? That was.
Are you seeing NPC roles? You shouldn't be. In the combat
NPC
section?
roles? Yeah, where the hell is NPC roles? Oh, combat.
Yeah, combat.
NPC
roles.
Yeah. How come I don't see it?
Fourth down,
right here.
Third down.
Fixed. Okay, so we know that she's going to get damaged with 11. So that means she's going to take more than half of her hit points. Okay, watch the chat, everybody. System shock rolls on a table, and it says it rolls on a table and gives you a result. You drop to 0. That's awesome. All right, let's and it even dropped her to 0. It gave her 11 hit points, and then it changed it to 13. So let's try that again. Let's do another one and see what we get. So this is a fun little thing, but it's pretty. Bad shit can happen.
Yeah, if you really play this one fully, it can get tough.
So isn't that cool? It gave her the 11 damage. It said stunned, and it applied the stun effect to her. I mean, that's fucking cool, everybody. Let's do another one. Let's damage her 11 and see what we get. Same thing, stunned. So the system shock table, let's see if we can find that. Interestingly enough, I think it's built in.
Can I say the joke that I'm stunning?
Yes, you are stunning.
Thank you.
So let's go to the Dungeon Master's Guide and open it up and find that table. It's actually built into Fantasy Grounds, so you don't need to own the Dungeon Master's Guide to use that, apparently. But let's go look for it. System shock. Here it is. So here are the things that can happen to you. There's 10 different things that can happen. Oh, sorry. There's 5 different things. You drop to 0 hit points. You drop to 0 hit points, but you're stable. You're stunned until the end of your next turn. You can't take reactions. And you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks till the end of your next turn. The creature can't take reactions until the end of its next turn. So those 5 things can happen to you, and if any of them do, the combat tracker adjusts automatically. So to me, welcome to the new game, any of my future players. We're going to use that because that's fucking amazing.
Level 1 was pretty hard. Level 1 PC or characters, pretty hard to begin with.
Yeah, but maybe what you do is you don't turn that on until level 4 or 5 or something. But again, that only happens if you take more than half your hit points in one hit. So it's not always happening. It's only if you get ganked.
Right.
So
too bad
really
they
cool.
couldn't do more of that.
But that is a cool thing because you just turn that on and it's all automatic, man. This is fantastic.
That'd be cool if you could do more of that.
Okay.
More of that? What? In what?
Just
sense?
applying conditions from tables that you make.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. I'm sure any Lua programmers out there can make that happen with extensions. I mean, that's kind of what Diablo Bob is doing with the one-click druids and everything else he's planning. He's planning like 8 different things and probably more. But yeah, you can do some pretty fantastic automatic crap in Fantasy Grounds.
Like critical fumbles and stuff. That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, that's already there. All right. Oh, you mean apply the effects? Yeah, that would.
Right.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I would like that a lot, wouldn't I? That would increase my. Ooh, nice. Okay, map diagonal distance, either standard or variant. So the variant, some people don't understand this, and actually, this coming Friday, I'll just give everybody a little preview right here. This coming Friday, I will have a a Fantasy Grounds Friday tip that will show this. And let me go into my Fantasy Grounds. Where the hell is it? Oh, didn't I? Oh, I didn't export it. Okay, I guess I have to go into the Photoshop. I didn't export the JPEG yet because I don't think I was done. But I show, and I've gotten to arguments with people as a player and as a DM, that if you're using the variant movement, what that means is every second diagonal square you move costs 10 instead of 5. And this always fucks with people's heads. So you see here on this token, if I do the whole move, it's 40. But if I do just a move and I stop here and I attack, that's 30. And then, my movement's over, and then I start my next movement. It's only 5 feet there, when in fact it should be 10. So you can see that this player could, most players aren't trying to cheat. They just end up unwittingly cheating by making that move, stopping here, attacking, and then moving here. And you can see that it's only 5, so they can move to any of the other green squares. If they went to this square or this square or this square, it would be 10, but it's only 5 to go here or here or here or here. So how people can prevent this when you're playing is, I'll show you in Fantasy Grounds. Let's say that this druid is going to move down here and attack his party mate and then move over to the monster. What you would do is you would just say, I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to move here. You draw your whole movement, and you say, and I'm going to attack on my way. And this way the movement is, there's never any question about how far can you move. You move over there, and you say, I'm going to attack there. And let's say I missed. The worst that would happen is this person would get an attack of opportunity on me. Let's say she made me go unconscious. Well, no problem. Just move the token back, and I'm unconscious right there. But I'd rather do that than have somebody go, okay, I'm going to move here, and DM goes, okay, you move there, and then, oh, I make my attack, and now I move over here. And then you go, okay, and then somebody or the player or the DM goes, wait, that's too far, and now there's a big 5-minute discussion about it. Whereas if you just do this, I'm going to move, wait, I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to move, fuck, I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to move over there, and that's going to be my movement, and then I'm going to attack on the way. Then you never have to talk about it. You never have to even talk about, because the measurements will always be there. It'll always be right. I know it's kind of it's a counterintuitive way to play by doing your whole movement. And there may be situations, like I said, where you get op attacked, or you attack the player and something else happens in the middle of the turn and you decide you're going to end up moving down here instead or something. But I think those rare exceptions to the rule would be something you'd rather handle than to stop the game and have a big argument about, hey, you moved 5 feet too far. And they're like, no, I didn't. It adds 20 and 20 is 40. And you're like, yeah, but it's not 20 and 20. It's 20 and 25, and get into that whole discussion with them. So I
know plenty of people that refuse to use variant because of that stuff.
Yeah, the option to do that is to not use the variant. Then you'll never have that fight. Also, somebody suggested to me, only allow square movements, don't allow diagonal movements, which to me, that's just fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, that's wrong, yeah.
But I do like the variable movement. I like it for many reasons. And so I just want people to understand how it works, because Fantasy Grounds does not remember your last movement. So if you break your movement up into more than one segment, it is not going to add those up and tell you what the real movement is. What would be really cool is if you moved, like, let's say, this is like a pipe dream. I don't know if they can do this in Unity or, because I don't even know what Unity does. But let's say I move, from here to here, and it says, okay, 15. And then on the same turn, I go like this, but instead of 15, it goes 20, 25, 35. That would be really cool, but it doesn't do that. So anyway, that's that discussion. And look for that on Friday, everybody, on Twitter and Fantasy Grounds College and Facebook. All right, encumbrance same thing, variant rule or standard. And all this does, it doesn't have any effect. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anything appear or change any numbers or variables or anything. All it does is it changes the boxes right here. So if you have it on standard, you get maximum and lift, push, drag. And if you have it on variant, it puts encumbered, heavy, maximum, and lift, push, drag. So it just changes the limitations of, or the different numbers about how you're going to use it. That's all it does. Oh my God.
I don't know anyone that uses the variant one.
Well, and I tend to not even use encumbrance rules at all. I just tell people don't get crazy. Encumbrance rules can be fun. Like in our game on Friday, we have a bag of holding because everybody's got to shove their crap in it because somebody might be too heavy. But I tend to just not use it. But if you're, like I said, there's some people that like to deep dive, and that's a pretty deep dive. You can, if so I made...
Yeah, I would say it worked exactly how I intended, with the idea of you stack all the stuff on one party member, and that party member dies and floats away.
Yeah.
And oh shit, we probably should have not gave him everything.
Yeah, that's why I like when you make your character, if you have a backpack and you put all these things in your backpack, and you're like, oh well, I'm gonna set my backpack down. Oh, the backpack got swept into the river and it's gone, and all your shit is gone. Then all you do is delete the backpack and it's over. All right, couple more here, everybody. We're doing good. Hour and a half. Holy shit. We're gonna give away another prize at the end. Healing variants. So this is standard is what everybody thinks it is. Healing surges is, let's just go read this, because this is pretty cool stuff. If you want to, depending on the campaign that you're playing, you might want to consider some of these. And I think Curse of Strahd even has the slow healing variant or something that you're supposed to be using. So it determines how or if an enemy... no, I'm wrong.
No, a little bit further down.
Yeah, here we go. This allows for healing variants as described in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So standard hit points are recovered at the end of a long rest, as well as half of the hit dice expended. So that's what everybody normally uses. If the healing surges are used, then healing is accelerated, with all hit dice being recovered after a long rest and a quarter of them being recovered after a short rest, but no hit points are automatically recovered. So you have to use your hit dice to recover healing points.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then slow natural healing is fucked up. No hit points are recovered at the end of a long rest, ever. So you basically have to heal yourself with your hit dice all the time, and then the only thing taking a long rest does is give you back hit dice. So that's fucked up. but I mean, if that's the way you want to play, that's in the rules. That's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It
kind of harkens back to the old AD&D, I think.
Yeah, and I think like that's basically, if you say to your campaign, you get a campaign together. Okay, we're gonna play this module. It's gonna take us 9 months. We're gonna use the slow healing rule. This is an entirely different game. It's nobody's kicking down doors. Everybody's planning a strategy. Everybody buys 50,000 potions because all you're drinking potions all the time. So it's really a fun way to do it, but it's fucked up if you're used to, just getting what you want, getting the regular healing. And then inspiration slots. If everybody sees up here, I got 1 inspiration slots. This one's really easy: standard, 2, or 3. So you can pick whatever you want, however you play your game. And that's it, everybody. That's the options menu 2019. And we are going to give away another prize. And isn't everyone so excited? All right. That was a long show. I appreciate everybody hanging in. So let's give away that prize. What's it called? Raffles. That's right. You're right.
Waffles? What?
It's called,
Waffles?
was it? Tassels? What? Waffles with tassels? I'm going to use the same keyword, Joe. Exclamation Joe will get you an entry. Wait, start. There we go. Thank you for the applause. Thank you for the applause. Who did the applause? I can't see. Fuzzy Wuzzy? Yeah, thanks for the applause. So...
Oh, there's one more thing to cover while this is going.
Yeah.
And that would be on your options menu on the bottom.
Oh, right.
We got languages and currencies.
My bad. So languages is the languages that are in here. This is the languages that are here. And so you can and basically what it is the language and then the font that's used to show the language in the chat. So you can go and add a language, gibberish, and then you can choose the font you want. So I want it to be the Infernal font. So now if I talk in gibberish, or is it gibberish, then hi, how's it going? It looks like that, and then only people can be it can only be understood by people that speak gibberish. So you can actually add languages there. Let me get rid of that before I forget. So again, difference being language name and font used to represent the language. And of course, many of these are repeated because there's only like 5 fonts or 6 fonts. Something to keep in mind is that languages have to be spelled correctly
on the character sheet.
On the character sheet in order to be able to be understood in the chat. So, for example, it is orc, not orcish. It is elvish, not elven. So you just have to be careful and spell those correctly. Now, Leroon and I were talking about this before the show. This is a relatively new thing, the currency button. Now, I went in and added gems. You can go in and you can add, you can add any currency that you want. Like the new currency named Flabins. You can add that in. What I haven't been able to figure out is how does that affect anything? Because on the character sheet, it doesn't show anything there. And in the party sheet,
if you do parcels or something.
Yeah, it doesn't. Oh yeah, I did poops earlier. that was my example. Poops. So it doesn't show there now. And in parcels, if you just do a new parcel. Oh.
Yeah, you can.
Ooh.
There we go.
You just gotta make sure and add it in the the parcel.
So my mistake was when Leroon and I were testing this, I did not do a new parcel. I opened up a previous parcel and it wasn't there. Poops. So yeah, so great. So if you want new, there we go. We figured it out. Everybody, we learned as we learned. I meant to say that. We learned as we learned. If you go to currencies, you can add, you can add Niles. Niles are my new favorite thing. So we do that, and then when I start a new parcel, You
already have it open.
Yeah, god damn it. There's the Niles. So I can give people, 100 gold and 6 million Niles because they're like the peso.
Oh. And then drop that in the party sheet and see what it does.
And then when you drop it in the party sheet, it's going to add them in. So there they are.
There you go.
There you go. And now when I disperse it, I've got 20 million Nylons. I shouldn't have done that. That's a big number. So I've got Niles and gold. So there you go. We didn't have any Flobins. If I had Flobins in there.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be rich.
3, 100. Let's try that again.
Flobins.
So there's, and then, now what I don't know is, actually what I'm interested to know is.
If you overload it.
Yeah, if you overload, if you go past the number, let's see what happens here.
Oh, yeah.
So it, wait, no, I didn't have enough. Okay, 11, 11, 11, 11, McLovin. Okay, let's try now. Oh, okay, so it put the 6 categories, and then it made a little note here. That's fucking cool.
There you go.
Wow, so good on you.
And as long as your character sheet has them if you pre-type PP through CP on each of those and gems, any
then
fake or new
right.
currencies, it'll make the note on the bottom.
Right.
Because they're all fake. I get it.
Yeah, they're all fake, yeah. So that's that. And then many people, when you start Fantasy Grounds, there's always that window that shows up in the middle of Fantasy Grounds And actually, I'll show you what it looks like. It's this window.
Yeah.
And, it allows you to go through and do a few things to set up your game. And it pops up every single time you load Fantasy Grounds, unless you uncheck this thing here, and then that goes away. Then next time you load Fantasy Grounds, it won't be there. Well, some people were like, wait, what if I want that back? Well, that's what this is. Options menu, setup, and that gets you there. And we won't go through this, but, well, I guess we could.
Time for a prize.
It is time for a prize. I think everybody has seen this enough that they know what it does. It opens certain books or makes you go to the module or the store or, whatever things you want to do. And actually, there's a loop here because the last page on this is the options menu. So that brings that back. So it's a big circle. All right, everybody, let's give away the last prize.
Let's do it.
The winner is... Boom! Valerian Gamer. Nice. Congrats to Valerian Gamer, and thanks to everybody who was here, by the way. Valerian Gamer, you know what to do. Contact me in Discord. And there you go. Woot, he acknowledged it. So, guys, just as a reminder, next week's going to be a big week. If you see any of our shows live, this is the one you want to see. Because it'll be the St. Patrick's Day All Things Fantasy Grounds talk show AMA with Leroon and Fury and myself. And
wait, what does AMA stand for?
Ask me
Oh
anything.
my God, you're a millennial.
Oh my God.
No, I know what it stands for. I just want
Why didn't you ask it?
I wanted the audience to know in case there's millennials watching.
Oh.
I'm trying to be
Man,
like considerate
I gotta say,
assholes.
Let me tell you what I think.
You passed that off really well.
Let me tell you what I think is more likely. Rob keeps saying AMA, and I'll bet he doesn't know what it means.
There we
Let
go.
me ask him.
Yeah.
Ask me anything. Yeah, that's started on. That's like a Reddit thing that they started. So, but we're gonna give away. Fantasy Grounds College is giving away an ultimate license, and I'll be giving away five prizes like I did today, but different than from today. I gave away 3 prizes, but you can't get a package. You can get a single item, but not a package. But next week you can get packages. So you could potentially get the collaboration package that I did with the other authors, which has like 16. The 2017 has 16 things in it. The 2018 has 21 things in it. Or you can get any of my packages. You could get the whole 2016 through 18, which is like if you go buy it, it's even at 50% off. It's like $90. So it's a pretty big thing you can get. So you definitely want to be here next week for that.
So just keep in mind, everyone, that if you are here long enough, you'll be able to get one of Rob's big packages.
That's right. you can get my big package. Min Clark even typed it in the chat. So, any questions from the audience? Go ahead and put them in there now. I guess no questions during the show, I guess. I mean, I was trying to lightning through that because it was,
It's a lot of stuff to cover. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. But I'm sure people, when they see this video on YouTube, they'll be glad because they'll be like, oh, shit, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. But if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask them.
Thanks for having me on, Rob. Had a blast.
Yeah, we want to thank Joe for coming. That was awesome. Joe's been on the show before, but Joe is also secretly our backup host in case someone dies. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a list in case one of us dies.
Yeah.
Contingencies.
No, but I can't remember where that note is. Oh, here it is. Joe can co-host. Fury Fate available all the time, it says. Joe can co-host.
That's not in the bathroom. My God.
Wait, what?
I don't know what's happening. So we've got the next 7. Let's give it a preview here. So that the big show is next week. After that, Critically Awesome Essentials, which is right now is just the one-click druid thing, but has many things coming out. And Diablo Bob will be here as our guest to talk about that. Sounds and Sirenscape and all that. Our guest will be Matt Akiri to talk about that. FGCon 14, which happens, I think, the 12th through the 14th of April. We'll be talking about that right before it starts. How to update Fantasy Grounds DM's Guild modules. A lot of people, most people know how to do it, but there's some tips and tricks we can cover there. Talk about that. Also, some of these ideas are from Idea Informer, where people have actually said, hey, why don't you do a show about this? And we're like, okay, we will. Using spell tokens, which I don't do enough, and I'd like to do, but they're really cool. I mean, there's I can show you guys.
I'm gonna love-hate with those things.
Yeah, like I do use Spiritual Weapon all the time. I use the one for that. But how come? What the hell?
The sphere, flaming sphere is a good one.
Wait, am I not in the players?
You got a question there, Joe.
What's up?
Can Joe DM BR Bowl if he's willing?
I can, yeah.
Does Diablo Bob?
It's not a matter of unable. It's a matter of willingness.
Can I? Yes. Will I? Yeah, they want me. I've been getting my ass kicked so bad. They want me to play 8
They want to
games.
get you to your ass kicked with more people.
They don't want me DMing it. They want to be in there so 8 people can kill me.
Well, then, not only am I willing, I am able.
Nice. Darth Vex, my vicious mockery generator has 700 insults and chooses
nice.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, he's got an awesome module, and you guys can download it, pay what you want on. And as a matter of fact, I have it here. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I didn't put it. Yeah, it's vicious insults. Yeah. The only thing is that until we figure out how to fix it, you know, like when you do anything as a player, here, let me. I didn't load it in. It won't show up in my library because I didn't load it in. It's not. Let me just check. Vicious. I don't think I. No, damn it. Search by author Vex. X. Yeah, I just didn't put it in my goddamn. But anyway, anything that you do as a GM, you know, you can go to a table and you can output to a chat, to a story, to a parcel, or to an encounter, but you can't do that as a player. And as a player, if you roll on the table, it just goes in the chat. So unfortunately, with the vicious mockery things, what would be really nice is if you could, as a player, change that to like story entry or notes field or something. And we did submit this to the Idea Informer for Fantasy Grounds. And so go upvote that, everybody. But
so what's it just in a weird way or what?
No. So what I was getting at is if you're a player and you want to take one of these vicious mockery things, you can roll on the table, but instead of see how I output it here, so nobody saw it over here. I just only see it, and I could say, you know, I could have been your father, but I was a copper short or whatever I used yesterday. But as a player, it will only show in the chat. So unfortunately, even though it's a really cool thing he's done, all the players are going to see the thing in the chat rather than you just being able to read it out loud.
Gotcha.
And nobody even knows you have this extension, and you got all these this witty comebacks, and everybody thinks you're a genius. That would be a better way. But he asked me to, or he didn't ask me to look at it. He just had it there, and I went and downloaded it and looked at it, and I contacted him and I said, hey, what about this? And we couldn't figure out a way to do it. So hopefully, eventually in the future, that'll be worked out. But I do recommend everybody go pick it up because it's awesome. I mean, even if you just read it, it's got.
That's
what
funny.
Did he say 700? Yeah. Players can send to notes. Yeah, but anything that you roll on the table, what you would have to do is you'd have to open the table, copy it out, and then go to notes, and it'd just be a giant pain in the ass.
It's just I see what you're trying to do there, and it will take some work. Yeah.
All right, so so look for that on Friday. You guys all got a sneak preview. What else? No more music. Close iTunes. No more timer. Close that. It's all coming to an end, everybody. No, don't need OBS. Close that. No, I'm just kidding. That would really mess up everything. But I will go over here and do this. So tomorrow I'll be here creating some sort of module on Module Creation Monday. Tuesday, no show. Wednesday, 5e pickups. I encourage everyone to come by. Tell your friends. Newbie friendly. Everybody's welcome. You don't need a license. You don't need a character. You just show up. Friday is Joe's game. He's the DM. We've been playing for going on our 13th episode. We're still on level 2. Plus a secret level where you die. That I forgot about that.
No, we've gone down to level 3.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
I
Wait,
don't think
didn't
so.
we?
No, that was not level 3.
We went level 1 and 2 and then transported to some fucked up level that's probably in the 20s where I fucking died right away.
Yeah, that. But no, we did go down because weren't the were-rats in level 3?
They were not.
No.
Well, fuck, these maps are huge.
They are.
They're huge. It's under mountain. So Saturday is Battle Royale once again. That is open to everyone, but you can't just show up for that one. You got to do a little
sign up.
You got to jump through a few hoops to get involved with that. But if you've played once, you don't have to jump through hoops anymore. All you have to do is tell me you want to play. So that's the whole schedule. That's a 5-day schedule. And I took a vacation in January, and I need another one. No.
Already?
No. Next January.
Oh, okay.
So nobody posted any questions, huh? That must mean we did such an awesome job, you guys, that nobody has any questions.
Yeah, 2 hours. Let's go to bed. I'm sorry.
2
I get to have dinner and go to bed.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to drink some more of this fucked up water.
You can't buy any more until you finish it.
Right. So, thanks for watching, everybody. We really do appreciate it. We hope to see you again next week and on all my shows, actually. You know, tell your friends, especially if you're trying to get people into Fantasy Grounds. This is the place to come and learn about how all this crap works. So on behalf of our special guest, Joe Numbers, and my co-hosts, Furied Fate and Leroon, I want to bid everyone a good rest of their weekend, which is ending shortly, and be safe. And until next time, good gaming, everyone.